large percentage and a major percentage of the population, a majority. So I would say in that case, with that level,
why JF Gariepy sent me a request to speak? What?
But in captivity,
did you guys see
they're
that?
notorious for not having any. Thank you very much for the questions. I appreciate it.
And I see that Stardust is in the audience.
Let's listen. I see JF Gariepy is in a Twitter space actually, and I kind of want to listen.
And I've done, you know, side of the table type of calculations on this, and you can get a full domination of the population within 20 to 50 generations. Within 20 to 50 generations, a big difference like this could totally switch from being a very small minority to being a large percentage and a major percentage of the population, a majority. So I would say in that case, with that level of difference, it's 20 to 50 generation. Now, if you had a more subtle difference,
I don't know what I would
like
say to him.
0.05 baby difference per couple, those are differences that might have massive evolutionary consequences over, I don't know, 5,000 to 10,000 years. And then if you have a massive difference, if you have an event that really kills you or leads you to have systematically 0 babies, those are things that can happen within a single generation. That is, within a single generation, if you have genetic characteristics that truly make you unable to have babies, within a single generation, they can disappear. So that's the scale of things. It's from anywhere from 20 years to 10,000 years to millions of years, if the differences are
I
even
drink
more
maple
subtle than
syrup
this.
on han.
Excellent. I very much appreciate it. And one last follow up, just and then I'll go, which is, I've heard it said from many evolutionary biologists that, you know, the primary drive is to reproduce, and I'm sure that you would agree. But with a lot of animals in captivity, we know that they don't reproduce. In fact, we have to in vitro fertilization, a lot of them. So my question is,
wait, he invited me to speak.
Why is he inviting me to speak? Only applicable in the natural environment, and when they're taken out of the natural environment, why does that seem to cease with some animals like pandas? Pandas in the wild maintain a stable population if left unmolested by humans.
Why JF Gariepy sent me a request to speak? What?
But in captivity,
did you guys see
they're
that?
notorious for not having any. Thank you very much for the questions. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so on this, it's that you're shocking and you're surprising the genes. So the genes, they ensure that you will get reproduction in the past environments that the animal has been faced with. The more you shock, the more you change that environment,
is he following
the
me?
more likely you might be stimulating the animal in some way that ends up making them unable to reproduce. I would argue that what you described for captivity for panda is really true. But it's the same thing for humans. Modern society has changed so fast that we have anti-reproductive behaviors appearing, and some people are excluding themselves from the gene pool by listening to, I don't know, anti-natalist propaganda or listening to counseling that pushes them away, or they take the birth pill. They take the birth pill until they're 39, like women at 39, and then they say, oh, I want babies now. And they end up not having them because they're too late. So I would argue that any change of the environment is likely to catch some of these signals that the genes misinterpret as, oh, this is a sign that you shouldn't make babies. But the genes, once they are habituated to these environments, once the thousands of years
he did follow me. Why did he follow me?
Will no more be repressive. So if we succeed at having the pandas fucking often enough for a couple thousand years, then the future pandas will be happy to have sex.
Wait, why did JF Gariepy just follow me?
That's a problem I've been faced with when I was young, because I was trying to get species of fish reproducing, and it's all about, can you reproduce the original environment in which the genes know that that's a good environment?
Well, he must know that I want to talk to him.
And if you get it, the fish will reward you with lots of babies. All right, so thank you so much for the guy who joined us. And I see that Stardust is in the audience, so I've invited him to be a speaker. Is it the Stardust who interviewed me? I wasn't sure, but I see that he has a big Twitter. Still, as of today, the interview that you did with me of 2000, I believe it was 2015. I'm reminded of it regularly when I see bad interviewers and people who don't know how to dig a subject in deep. And I've always been very respectful of this talent of yours because I think it's still the best interview I've ever had in terms of giving me the chance to lay out my full view of science and biology and my idea of phenotypic revolution. So I just wanted to tell him, if you want to join us on the speakers, feel free to join us. Stardust. In
Hi.
fact, he's there.
I think you have
Oh,
me
it's not
Yeah, you have
Stardust.
me mistaken with somebody else. I'm so
That
sorry.
is not.
I have interviewed Richard Spencer a couple of times, and I actually was interested in interviewing you. But the Stardust that you're talking about is definitely not me. So
Well, amazing. A woman, I did not expect this, but a woman who's also an interviewer named Stardust, that is stunning to me. Because
yeah.
Stardust was a guy.
Wow.
So you say you've been interviewing Richard Spencer. So what do you do in terms of a show?
I'm a streamer, and I make political content and drama content essentially.
Mm,
Yeah, so I just like to get to know people who have very different views from me, and I've done that with quite a few different people.
okay.
Yeah.
Drama content, I love it. My crowd hates it. So whenever I do drama reviews, they're like, JF, why are you engaging with such low IQ stuff? But no, I love it. When I was a child, I came back from school and I was listening to these Jerry Springer episodes and this Maury show type of stuff. To me, it's exciting
Yeah, it is
to
exciting.
have
Yeah.
the.
It's very exciting. It's and everything that's happening on the internet is like reality TV, and then it
Yeah.
crosses with political content, and that makes it even more exciting. So
Absolutely. I was thinking about what we were doing back in the blood sports days, and it was basically people standing in front of a webcam, but repeating a lot of the themes that you've had in reality TV 10 years before.
yeah, yeah, agreed.
So, what's been happening in the drama sphere? Personally, I was reviewing the No Jumper podcast. Have you ever reviewed stuff from them?
I haven't looked at their recent stuff, but I've been in contact with somebody, and I've been talking with them about the stuff that they've been kind of like prepping. It looks like that they're trying to set up debates now, so that looks exciting.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
they've been getting very close to the blood sports ID, and they've been doing a kind of blood sports between pimps and rappers, and
Mm-hmm.
they have some very interesting stuff. I think 48 hours ago there was one where there was a rapper Blueface with his girlfriend, and it was pretty spectacular how she got annoyed and eventually had to be kicked out physically from the podcast.
Oh wow, I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Yeah, it almost seems like some type of blood sports is coming back in a way, and that's super exciting to me. I loved blood sports when it was around, so
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So you were an audience member back then?
Yeah,
Hey,
I was an
Princess
audience
Stardust!
member.
Is this
So.
JF Gariepy?
Okay. When did you start streaming?
I started streaming about a year and some change ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So
And have you done YouTube, Twitch?
I'm on YouTube and on Twitch. All my links are links.fromstardust.net. I'm pretty all over the place, but I have stuff on YouTube and on Twitch. So
Okay. I've had a female streamer wanting to interview me, but eventually she was a leftist and she ended up thinking that I was going to lie to her crowd to push my right-wing talking points, which I find ridiculous because I'm a very honest public speaker. I'm not the kind of guy to lie, but somehow she was paranoid that I was going to push right-wing ideas on her show.
yeah.
Are you right-wing? Are you left-wing?
I am center left. I'm center left, but I'm not really scared of things like that. I think I'm more looking for a genuine conversation with people.
Very nice. I can deliver this. If you ever want me, I will go.
Sure.
So, as a center left person, have you experienced a change since the Elon Musk takeover? Do you feel that you are seeing trolls and misinformation invade Twitter?
So since the Elon Musk takeover, it's been a little bit chaotic on Twitter, but I don't know that I've seen like trolls invade necessarily. I still see people will get moderated for what seems to be really minor things if there's enough mass reporting when it comes down to it. So I don't know that there's a way to really combat mass reporting used as a weapon against people. But it's interesting to see all the banned people come back, that's for sure.
Yes, I love it. Personally, it was a part of my life that, when your brain doesn't give up something and you restart it, and it's like you've done it all the time.
Yeah.
Like if you were to stop bicycle for a year, but then you restart, you know all of the tricks, you know how to place your feet and how to pedal. It was a little bit like this, my return on Twitter. It was like my brain needed to do all these things all day because when you're an influencer, you know that you have to spend a lot of time on Twitter to maintain it, to maintain your status and the algorithm. And I was deprived of it for a year. I felt like a void inside of me.
Yeah. What do you think? Have you seen a lot of changes in Twitter since Elon's takeover?
Radical changes. I think he's reawakening an internet of 2012, and it's been giving me so much hope for humanity. All of these platforms will all be shut off by censorship, but Elon has decided that Twitter wouldn't. And it's going to be the base of liberty and the base for a new start for the internet. This is exactly why I started this first Twitter space. It's that I think that there may be a future in which Twitter space types of videos end up outcompeting YouTube.
Yeah. What do you think of the Fediverse?
I love the Fediverse from a programmatic standpoint. However, the design is inevitably leading to these circle jerks. And Twitter was a greater dream, a kind of humanitarian dream of everyone having to face each other. And I think it's what Elon Musk sees in Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to, I went on Post, and everyone was telling me JF Post is the sewers of the internet, the shit posters of the shit posters. Go on there. And I was like, well, if they're that much of a low level stuff, they're certainly going to accept me. I start an account, I get banned immediately. They haven't even tried letting me speak. They just took my name and searched my Wikipedia, and they see all of the smears on me, and they decided to ban me. So that gives me an idea that the Fediverse, unfortunately, with its local rules, ends up being highly oppressive of cognitive diversity. And therefore, I prefer the Twitter project personally.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. I never knew that. I'm on Telegram, and I'll like keep up with people on Telegram that are banned on Twitter. But I just recently was introduced to the Fediverse, and it looks interesting and it looks
Manifestation.
fun. But yeah, it's definitely different, and it can definitely be very insular in comparison to Twitter.
Absolutely. I think that the future is neither the Fediverse, nor Gab, nor Twitter. Eventually, we're going to have to reach uncensorable blockchain technology. It exists out there, they've made it, but it's not been adopted widely. And I don't know how we get the adoption problem solved. So I think that for maybe a decade and maybe even more, Twitter might be the only solution.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have to get going, but it was great speaking with you. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to speak on your Twitter space.
Thank you so much. It was great hearing about you. It's been years that I haven't spoken to a center-left woman.
Yeah, well, I look forward to hopefully we can speak again soon and maybe set up an interview or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've followed you on Twitter, so feel free to send me a DM. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.